Chosen one, your body is betraying everything you thought you knew about reality. The strange sensations, the unexplained energy shifts, the moments where you feel like you're vibrating at a frequency that doesn't belong to this world. Stop dismissing them as stress or imagination. Listen closely to what I'm about to tell you. You are not here by accident. What's coming in this message will expose the divine process that's been reshaping you from the inside out. But first, here's what no one tells you about the transformation that's already begun. Your physical vessel is being prepared for dimensions your mind hasn't even conceived yet. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why your body has been acting as a receiver for frequencies from the fifth dimension, and you'll know how to work with these divine upgrades instead of fighting against them. But what I'm about to reveal first will shift how you see every strange sensation you've experienced. The symptoms you've been having aren't symptoms at all, they're installations. God is literally rewiring your spiritual operating system for a reality that operates on higher laws than the one you've been living in. This isn't just another spiritual teaching. This is a divine download specifically calibrated for souls who are being called up into dimensional alignment right now. Hit the like button to declare, "I'm ready to receive this divine message." It takes just a second, but helps spread this word to thousands of other chosen ones who need it right now. What's on your heart today? Leave your prayer request in the comments and then take a moment to lift someone else up with words of encouragement. When you share your prayer, others will intercede for you. When you pray for someone else, God moves in ways you never imagined. And to our faithful members of this channel, your commitment keeps this mission alive. May heaven reward you with grace, strength, and breakthrough. Comment 333. If you're declaring today as the day you step into divine abundance, favor, and breakthrough, have you ever just felt it? That subtle, strange internal hum that sometimes resonates deep within your core. A gentle vibration that isn't quite physical yet feels utterly real. It's not a tremor of fear, nor is it the thrum of a machine, but something far more ancient and sacred, a quiet frequency pulsing from the deepest wellspring of your being. Or perhaps it's been a sudden, exhilarating surge of energy, a warm, almost electric current that washes over you for no apparent reason, moving through your limbs and settling in your chest, leaving you feeling both invigorated and a little bewildered, as if a quiet fire has been lit within. Maybe you've experienced a distinct tingling sensation at the very crown of your head, like a gentle current passing through, a soft whisper against your spirit's sensitive antenna, a feeling of being subtly touched by something unseen, yet profoundly present. For some, it manifests as a sudden, undeniable wave of restlessness, a deep, persistent knowing that something profound needs to shift within your life, even if you can't quite put your finger on what, or why, or how. A feeling like an old skin is too tight, longing to be shed. I know from countless heartfelt conversations and quiet confessions shared in the vulnerable spaces of our lives that many of you have quietly wondered, perhaps even out loud to yourself in the lonely hours of the night when the world is still and only your thoughts keep company. Why am I feeling these peculiar things that no one else around me seems to notice or acknowledge? Am I just imagining it all? Am I making it up in my head? Perhaps a little unhinged from the mundane reality of daily life? You've probably questioned the reality of that little current that sometimes runs through your chest as you lie in bed, a gentle river of energy flowing beneath your ribs, or the way that, completely out of the blue, your spirit feels expansive, like it's being stretched beyond its familiar boundaries, growing too big for its britches, almost bursting with an unnameable potential. A profound sense of an emerging greatness you can't yet fully grasp. Let me tell you, from the deepest, most honest part of my heart, with every fiber of my being that has also felt these sacred stirrings, these are not malfunctions. They are not signs that something is wrong with you or that your mind is playing tricks, conjuring illusions from thin air. Quite the opposite, actually. These are precious, sacred messages, a divine language woven into the very fabric of your being, coded into your DNA, pulsing in your blood, whispered into your very breath. This is God's very own way of speaking to you, right down to the cellular level of your existence, activating dormant codes, awakening ancient truths, preparing you for an unveiling of purpose and presence. Your soul is receiving new information, new frequencies, like an antenna tuning into a station it was always meant to receive, and your body, in its profound wisdom, is the first to register these magnificent, life-altering downloads. It's an intimate, embodied communication far beyond mere words, telling you that you are loved, you are seen, you are known, and you are being prepared for more than you can currently imagine. Think about a moment in history that perfectly illustrates this profound, physical communication from the divine. The timeless story of Moses and the burning bush, an encounter that ripped a hole in the fabric of ordinary reality and changed the course of human history. Moses was just going about his day, lost in the quiet, predictable rhythm of his ordinary life, tending sheep in the vast, silent wilderness of Midian, a landscape of rock and sand and endless sky. He was a shepherd, a simple man, utterly unaware that his world, his very understanding of what was possible, was about to be irrevocably altered, broken open by the divine. Then he saw something truly extraordinary, something that defied all natural laws, a bush that was ablaze with fire, yet miraculously it was not being consumed, its leaves still green, its branches intact, a silent, miraculous defiance of the laws of nature. It pulsed with an unearthly glow, a beacon in the desolate landscape. Before God even uttered a single, audible word from within that miraculous, unconsuming fire, Moses felt something profound and undeniable in his body. He felt fear, yes, a primal trembling that ran through his whole being, a shiver that started deep in his bones and spread outwards through every nerve ending, every muscle fiber. It was a deep, visceral, physical reaction, a holy tremor, an involuntary physiological response, before his mind could even begin to process the visual anomaly, before he could intellectualize what was happening, before he understood the incredible, life-altering calling that was about to unfold before him, a divine assignment that would redefine his life and the destiny of a nation. That trembling wasn't merely a sign to run away in terror from an unknown threat. It was a holy invitation. It was a physical notice, a divine nudge from the very heart of the Creator, letting him know that something in his physical reality, in his present understanding of the world, had to make space, had to shift, had to expand, to accommodate the supernatural power that was breaking through. His body was literally preparing itself through awe and reverence to encounter the living God, to stand on holy ground, to receive a divine mandate. It was a physical manifestation of a spiritual truth, preparing the vessel for the divine purpose that was about to be poured into it, a vessel that would be used to lead an entire people to freedom. His very cells were being recalibrated for a destiny far greater than he could have ever imagined, a destiny that would echo through millennia, all initiated by a burning bush and a holy tremor in his bones. And guess what, my dear friend? Your body, right now, is experiencing something profoundly similar. It's becoming a meeting place, a sacred ground where the celestial realm of heaven and the grounded reality of earth connect in a dance of divine fusion, a merging of spirit and flesh, the very space where miracles become manifest. The Holy Spirit isn't politely knocking on the door of your heart anymore, waiting patiently for an invitation that might never fully come in its entirety, or for you to be ready in some perfect, intellectualized way. It's actively installing new access points, making powerful internal upgrades within you, preparing you to carry a deeper anointing, a clearer vision, a more profound expression of God's love and power in the world. That pressure you sometimes feel behind your eyes, like your mind is gently but persistently expanding, opening to new levels of perception and understanding, as if the world is suddenly revealing hidden layers of meaning, or the sensation of your heart racing, not from anxiety or fear, not from the frantic pace of the world, but with a vibrant, pulsating anticipation, a hopeful quickening when you contemplate your next big leap of faith, your next bold step into the unknown, a deep resonance. With a future you can almost taste. These aren't signs to retreat, to shrink back, or to be afraid. No, these are powerful, unmistakable indicators that you are being updated, recalibrated, brought into a new, higher frequency of being, aligning you with divine purpose, with the very rhythm of heaven. The Apostle Paul, a man who knew a thing or two about profound spiritual transformation, about being struck by divine light and forever changed, and the cost of following a sacred calling, once spoke of the groaning of creation, a deep, physical anticipation, almost a yearning that resonates through all things, from the smallest grain of sand to the grandest galaxy, for a glory yet unseen, a revelation of the children of God. What you're experiencing in your very bones, in the deep places of your spirit, in the quickening of your heart, is a prototype of that glory. It's a sneak peek, a tangible, physical sample of what's powerfully unfolding within you, a foretaste of the magnificent transformation that is already underway, a glimpse behind the curtain of the spiritual realm. Your entire being is being prepared to house and emanate more of God's light, more of His truth, more of His love into the world, to become a living, breathing testament to His presence, a vessel overflowing with divine grace. You were never, ever made to run at the chaotic, anxious, and draining frequency of the world around you. A world often caught in loops of fear, comparison, striving, and endless consumption. Your spirit, your deepest essence, resonates with a different melody, a higher harmony. You are being gently, yet powerfully, tuned into something much higher, something divine, something eternal, like a finely crafted instrument being brought into perfect pitch with a celestial symphony. And this is precisely why all those old ways you used to soothe yourself, those familiar routines, those carefully constructed comfort zones that once grounded you and offered a sense of security, now feel different. Perhaps they feel empty, like an ill-fitting garment you've simply outgrown, a costume that no longer suits the character you are becoming. Or maybe they even cause a subtle resistance, a quiet ache within you when you try to revert to them, like your soul is gently pushing back, longing for something more. It's like your soul, now awakened to a deeper truth, now attuned to a higher vibration, is quietly but firmly saying, "I've outgrown this. I need more substance, more authenticity, more of the divine." That old playlist that once filled your car with familiar comfort, that particular show that used to be your reliable escape from reality, that endless social media scroll that once offered fleeting distraction and a sense of connection, even certain conversations filled with superficiality, gossip, or the rehashing of old stories, they just don't hit the same anymore. They lack the resonance, the depth, the genuine nourishment your spirit now craves. It's because your spirit is craving a richer, deeper, more authentic connection. A connection to purpose, to truth, to God, to your truest self. And anything less than that now feels insufficient, even jarring, like static on a clear channel. You're being called up higher, called into a more expansive expression of your divine blueprint, and your entire system, from your mind to your very cells, is letting you know that the old patterns, the old frequencies, the old comforts no longer serve your new, elevated path. This isn't a loss, it's a magnificent liberation, a shedding of what no longer aligns with the glorious being you are becoming. Like a butterfly emerging from its chrysalis, leaving behind the confines of its former self, ready to take flight into a new, vibrant existence. Sometimes the most profound breakthroughs we experience in life don't come from frantically searching for all the answers outside ourselves. relentlessly striving, or trying to intellectualize and dissect every single spiritual experience with our finite minds. Instead, they come when we simply stop, when we choose to get quiet, and when we intentionally start sitting with revelation, allowing divine truth to unfold organically within us, like a sacred seed germinating in the fertile soil of our hearts, sending out roots and shoots in its own perfect timing. It's about cultivating a posture of receptivity rather than one of striving or forced effort, a gentle surrender to the wisdom that already dwells within. If what I'm saying today is resonating deep within your spirit, if it's sparking something you felt but couldn't quite name, a truth your soul has been longing to articulate, a secret whisper that suddenly finds its voice, then I truly believe the 10 hidden truths of Jesus' parables is your next step, your next powerful guide on this unfolding journey. It's a short but incredibly powerful ebook that unlocks practical, spirit-led truths that can transform areas as vital as your money, bringing abundance and freedom into your finances, your healing journey, offering comfort and restoration to your body and soul, and even bringing incredible emotional clarity and freedom, releasing the burdens you've carried. You'll find the link right there in the first comment, a direct path to profound wisdom. But just a heads up, it's only available for a limited time because I want those who are truly ready to lean in, to open their hearts, and to receive this profound wisdom with intentionality and focus. This is for the seekers, the soulful ones, ready to walk a deeper path, ready to unearth the treasures of truth that Jesus veiled in simple stories, waiting for hearts ready to perceive. So what actually happens? What incredible transformations occur when you stop fighting these powerful divine updates, when you cease trying to cling desperately to the old, to the familiar, to the comfortable, and instead begin to truly steward them, to nurture and cooperate with this profound divine process of metamorphosis, allowing the Spirit to do its transformative work within you. Let's talk about it, because this is where the magic truly unfolds, where the ordinary gives way to the extraordinary, where your life becomes a living testament to God's unfolding grace. First, that gnawing, pervasive anxiety you might have been feeling, that subtle but persistent dread that grips your stomach and whispers doubts in your mind, that low hum of worry that has perhaps become a constant companion. It doesn't just magically disappear overnight like flicking a switch, but something truly incredible happens. It transforms. It shifts from worldly worry, from the low-vibration fear of the unknown that contracts your spirit, into a sacred unease. This isn't the anxious dread that paralyzes your will, that makes you want to pull back and hide. It's a profound spiritual invitation into mystery, a deep, resonant knowing that you're standing on the precipice of something magnificent, something divinely orchestrated, something holy. Think of Abraham, called by God to leave everything familiar, his comfortable home, his beloved family, his entire known world, and set out for a land he didn't even know the name of. He must have felt an immense unease, a trembling in his spirit, a profound sense of the unknown stretching before him, of stepping into a vast emptiness. But it was sacred. It propelled him forward, through faith, into his destiny as the father of nations, the patriarch of a people. You, my friend, are being invited out of your comfort zones, out of the familiar, out of the small stories you've told yourself, so that you can be truly introduced to your divine commission, your unique, God-given purpose, a purpose that will stretch and grow you beyond measure. That internal shaking you feel isn't a punishment or a sign of weakness, it's powerful spiritual preparation. It's like Joseph felt in the pit, unjustly thrown into a dungeon, stripped of his dreams and his freedom before he could ever dream of ruling a palace. His trials weren't setbacks, they were the very steps needed to forge him, to refine him, to prepare him into the leader he was destined to be, a deliverer for his people. You're being refined, purified, strengthened for what's next, for the glorious purpose awaiting you, a purpose that demands a spirit tempered in sacred fire. Second, you might notice your sleep patterns getting a little disrupted. This is a common one, and I know from personal experience it can be incredibly frustrating to have your precious rest interrupted. We crave that deep, unbroken sleep. But hear me out and try to see this through a different lens. The Spirit often chooses the late hours, those quiet, hushed moments of the night when the world is still and your conscious mind finally quiets, when the clamor of the day recedes to do some of its deepest, most profound work. Why? Because that's when your guard is down, when the constant chatter, the endless to-do lists, and the mental noise of your waking life finally recede, and you're most receptive, most open, most undefended, like a blank canvas ready to receive. Instead of resenting these awakenings, feeling annoyed that your precious sleep is being interrupted, try, if you can, to embrace them as sacred invitations. Sit in stillness for a few moments, even if it's just for 5 minutes, and simply listen with your heart. You might just catch the whisper that Elijah heard after the earthquake, the strong wind and the fire. That still, small voice, so gentle yet so powerful, that began to rewrite his entire destiny, giving him new instructions, new courage. Keep a journal by your bedside. You might be amazed at the clarity, the brilliant ideas, the profound insights, or even the urgent prayer points that come to you in those sacred, quiet hours, like divine messages imprinted on your soul. These aren't sleepless nights, they are spirit-led awakenings, moments of divine download, gifts of clarity from heaven. Third, you will definitely feel relationships shift, and sometimes there won't be a clear, logical explanation for it. No big fight, no dramatic parting of ways. People you once felt deeply connected to, whose presence felt like a familiar embrace, whose conversations flowed effortlessly, might suddenly seem distant, or the conversations might not flow with the same ease and joy they once did, a subtle awkwardness settling in. This isn't necessarily anyone's fault. It's a natural consequence of your elevation, of your spiritual growth. The ones who are simply unable to recognize, or perhaps aren't ready for, your new, higher frequency, your new vibration, may naturally and gracefully step back, like leaves falling gently from a tree in autumn, not out of malice, but out of the natural rhythm of life. This isn't a rejection of who you are becoming, but rather a profound realignment, a necessary recalibration of your energetic field. It's God making space, clearing the path, not to leave you alone in isolation, but to bring in those who are aligned with your evolving self, with the magnificent person you are becoming. It's like when you change radio stations. Some people are still happily tuned into the old one, enjoying its familiar melodies, and that's perfectly okay for them. But you're now on a different wavelength, receiving a different signal, vibrating at a higher frequency. There's a step coming up that most people resist, one that requires immense trust, but it's absolutely key to unlocking the blessing hidden inside these departures. It's about accepting what is, trusting in divine choreography, understanding that God is always working for your highest good, and recognizing that some seasons, no matter how cherished, are simply meant to end, creating space for new, more aligned beginnings, for connections that nourish and uplift your spirit in its new dimension. Fourth, you'll start to notice a powerful, almost undeniable urge to confess, to clear old debris from your conscience, to make things right in ways you might have previously avoided or even completely forgotten. It's like a deep spiritual spring cleaning, a profound desire for inner integrity and purity, to shine light into every hidden corner of your soul. The Holy Spirit always purifies before promotion. It lovingly prepares the vessel for what's to come, ensuring you are ready to carry the new anointing and responsibility, that your heart is a clean and open channel for divine grace. Think of King David, pouring his heart out to God in the wilderness, confessing his deepest sins, his fears, his very human flaws, holding nothing back, laying his heart bare before the Almighty. He was emptied of the old, of the weight of unconfessed sin, so he could contain more of God's Spirit, more of God's anointing, more of God's purpose, becoming a man after God's own heart, despite his imperfections. Don't hide from this purging. Don't try to sweep things under the rug of forgetfulness or denial, for what is hidden in the dark will always impede your light. Embrace it as undeniable proof that you are chosen for something weighty, something significant, something truly impactful. This isn't about shame or condemnation, it's about liberation, about making your heart a pure channel, and about preparation for greater things than you can imagine, a powerful cleansing that frees you to soar. It's God making you ready to carry a bigger blessing, to wield a deeper impact, to be a purer reflection of His love in the world, a beacon of His light. This is a gift, a profound grace, a sacred invitation to wholeness. Fifth, get ready for unpredictable, exhilarating waves of creativity to surge through you, often without warning or clear explanation, like a sudden downpour after a long drought, bringing life to parched ground. It's like ideas and images are being channeled directly from a place of pure, divine light, a limitless wellspring of inspiration, flowing effortlessly through your mind and hands. Suddenly you might feel an undeniable, compelling urge to write, to paint, to build, to sing, to compose music, to design, to innovate, to problem solve in novel ways, or to simply express something beautiful that stirs within your soul. Don't, for a second, ignore these sparks. No matter how small or seemingly insignificant they may appear, no matter how impractical or unconventional they might seem to the logical mind. These aren't just random thoughts or fleeting whims, they are divine seeds planted by the Creator Himself, carrying the potential for exponential growth, for blooming into something magnificent. Your obedience in nurturing these little sparks, in giving them breath and form, even if they feel tentative or foolish at first, is the groundwork for a much greater fire, a magnificent blaze of purpose. And let me tell you, what's coming next from these creative bursts will likely surprise you, because this very process is often the secret that resets entire generational patterns, breaking long-standing cycles of lack or limitation, fear or doubt, unworthiness or struggle, and ushering in new legacies of blessing, abundance, and breakthrough, not just for you, but for your entire family line and beyond. You are unlocking a divine inheritance through your creative obedience, becoming a channel for systemic transformation. Sixth, brace yourself, because old wounds are likely to rise without warning, often with an intensity that can feel startling, like deeply buried emotions bubbling to the surface. That lingering pain, that old hurt, that feeling of injustice you thought you'd buried deep within the recesses of your past, cleverly hidden away or rationalized, it will surface, demanding to be seen, felt, and finally released. Why? Because these lower vibrations of pain, unforgiveness, resentment, and unhealed trauma simply cannot exist in the higher vibration you are now stepping into. They are incompatible, like oil and water with the new dimension of peace, joy, and freedom you are being tuned to. They cannot coexist. Remember Jacob, who wrestled with God all night long at the ford of Jabbok, refusing to let go until he received a blessing, until his very being was transformed by the encounter. And though he walked away marked with a limp, a physical reminder of his struggle and his transformation, he also walked away with a new name, Israel, and a profound, life-altering blessing forever changed by his divine encounter. So too must you confront what you've outgrown, what has been holding you back, what is keeping you tethered to a smaller version of yourself. Let the pain teach you the lessons it has to offer, but absolutely do not let it tether you to the past, holding you captive in its grip, preventing you from moving forward into your promised land. This is not about reliving trauma. It's an opportunity for profound healing and ultimate release, a chance to transcend the past and step into a future unburdened, light, and free. Seventh, you will find yourself developing a brand new, almost insatiable hunger for solitude. The constant noise of crowds, The incessant chatter of social media, the relentless demands of endless activities and obligations, all of it will suddenly feel jarring, even profoundly draining to your spirit, like a cacophony that grates against your newly attuned senses. Like Jesus, who retreated to the mountains before significant moments in his ministry, seeking quiet communion with his Father, filling his spirit before stepping into his public purpose, you're being called to secret places, to moments of quiet contemplation, intentional withdrawal, and sacred rest. This isn't about escaping the world or shirking your responsibilities. It's about incubating what's being planted within you, allowing the divine seeds to germinate in peace, in the sacred quiet of your inner sanctuary. It's in these quiet, sacred spaces that your divine purpose is nurtured, your spirit is replenished, your inner wellspring is refilled, and you receive profound clarity for the path ahead. The next steps, illuminated by divine light. Don't fight this urge, this deep inner pull. Embrace it as a vital, non-negotiable part of your spiritual growth and preparation, as essential as breath itself. It is in the stillness that the voice of God becomes clearest, and your soul truly flourishes, finding its deepest rest and truest direction. 8th, prepare for synchronicities to multiply in your life, often in astonishing, almost magical ways, weaving a tapestry of divine confirmation around you. You'll start noticing specific numbers repeating with uncanny frequency, appearing on clocks, license plates, receipts, like gentle nudges from the universe, dreams that are incredibly vivid and deeply meaningful, carrying messages and insights that resonate profoundly with your waking life, or strangers appearing out of nowhere with timely, encouraging words that directly answer a question you've been pondering for weeks, a prayer you whispered to the heavens. These aren't mere coincidences or random occurrences. They are powerful, undeniable confirmations that the veil between the natural and the supernatural is thinning around you, becoming more permeable, allowing more of heaven's reality to spill into your earthly experience. God is actively communicating with you, lovingly leaving you breadcrumbs along your path, showing you He is intimately involved in every detail of your life, that you are never alone or unseen. Start tracking these signs, write them down in a dedicated journal, acknowledge them with gratitude, speak about them to trusted friends, for in doing so, you amplify their power and presence. They are divine coordinates, guiding you, affirming you, and showing you with unwavering certainty that you are precisely where you need to be on this journey, perfectly aligned with His unfolding plan for your life. Your world is becoming saturated with divine whispers and winks, a constant dialogue between your spirit and the Spirit. 9th, a holy boldness will rise up within you, something truly remarkable and unmistakably Spirit-led, a quiet but fierce confidence that glows from within. Where you once might have apologized for being different, for having unique perspectives or passions that didn't quite fit in with the crowd, now you'll sense a lion waking inside your chest, a quiet but fierce courage, an unshakable inner strength. This isn't arrogance or pride, which are rooted in ego and a need for external validation. It's a deep, unwavering confidence in the divine spark within you, a rock-solid knowing of your worth and purpose, an acceptance of your unique anointing. It's Esther's courage before the king, a readiness to stake everything, to put it all on the line, to risk comfort and security for what God is awakening in you and calling you to do, knowing that sometimes, for such a time as this, you must step forward. You'll stop shrinking yourself to fit into someone else's idea of who you should be, or conforming to limiting expectations, and instead, you'll stand tall in the magnificent, unique, and powerful person God created you to be. You'll speak your truth with grace and conviction, rooted in love and divine authority, no longer silenced by fear or doubt, but empowered by the Spirit who lives within you. 10th, And this particular point will challenge even the most faithful and intellectually grounded among us. There will be moments, truly significant crossroads, when your mind simply cannot comprehend where your heart is being led. The Spirit's logic, the divine wisdom guiding you, will directly contradict what you've always called common sense, or even what seems practical, safe, or reasonable to the world. This is often the critical crossroads where most people turn back, where they let fear or conventional logic override the gentle but insistent voice of faith, choosing the known over the miraculous. But the paradox itself is often the very proof that God is powerfully at work, orchestrating something beyond human comprehension, something that demands radical trust. Think of Gideon's army, which God dramatically reduced from thousands of brave men to a mere 300, a seemingly impossible number, a humanly illogical strategy, so that the victory would clearly belong to him alone, leaving no doubt about the source of their power, so that no one could boast in their own strength. Your breakthrough will demand that you trust where evidence is lacking, that you step out in faith when every logical argument tells you to stay put, to play it safe, to choose the predictable path. This is precisely where miracles are born, in the courageous gap between logic and divine leading, in the space where human understanding ends and divine possibilities begin. 11th, get ready for what might feel like the final, most profound test, a deep shedding that can feel both liberating and unsettling, like losing a part of yourself, yet gaining something infinitely greater. You'll be asked to let go of the very identity that once made you feel safe, the version of yourself you've always known, cherished, and perhaps even clung to, the narrative you've built around who you are. Like Saul becoming Paul, shedding his old zealot identity, his old name, and all its associated accolades and beliefs, to fully embrace his new calling as an apostle to the Gentiles, a complete transformation of purpose and person. You must surrender any version of yourself, any old story, any limiting belief that is incompatible with the new dimension you are about to walk into, the higher spiritual ground you're gaining. This can feel deeply unsettling because our identity is so intimately intertwined with our sense of security, belonging, and even our very purpose. It's the anchor of our self-perception. But remember this profound truth etched into the heart of spiritual transformation: the divine cannot fill what you refuse to empty. You cannot step into the fullness of who you are truly meant to be, the magnificent creation God designed, while clinging to who you once were or who you thought you had to be, like trying to pour new wine into old wineskins. This is a brave, courageous act of true spiritual letting go, a sacred divestment, allowing your truest, most authentic and divinely ordained self to emerge, unburdened by the past. And 12th, and this, my friend, is where the atmosphere splits, where everything changes, where the profound shift from striving to simply being finally culminates. There will come a moment of absolute, total, unequivocal surrender. It won't feel like a triumphant victory in the way you might imagine, with fanfare and celebration, with angels singing and trumpets sounding. In fact, it will probably feel a lot like loss at first, a shedding, a profound release of control, a letting go of all your plans, your will, your carefully constructed timelines, your desires, your expectations. It's the ultimate act of humility, echoing the prayer in Gethsemane, when Jesus, facing unimaginable suffering, said, "Not my will, but yours, God," a profound bowing of the human will to the divine. And then, in the exquisite hush that follows, in that sacred, quiet space created by your surrender, you'll suddenly realize with breathtaking clarity your spirit has finally caught up to what heaven wrote for you all along. All those nudges, all those subtle shifts, all those uncomfortable changes, all those unexpected detours and divine recalibrations, they were leading you, step by sacred step, to this very moment of perfect alignment, of profound harmony with your divine blueprint, with the grand design woven into your soul before time began. That's when true, unadulterated power, the very glory of God, begins to flow through you, not as something you strive for, but as something you simply are, in ways your body was divinely remade to carry. You become a pure, unobstructed conduit for God's radiant glory on earth, living fully in your purpose, emanating His light with every breath, every action, every sacred moment, a living testament to His magnificent design. So before you sleep tonight, or as you take a moment in this very present now, I invite you to take a moment, a deep, intentional pause. Just stand still, wherever you are, feeling the ground beneath your feet, grounding yourself in this physical reality. Take a deep, cleansing breath, letting it fill your lungs with fresh, life-giving air, and then gently release, letting go of any tension, any worry, any need to control. Let the mystery work on your behalf. Don't try to figure it all out. Don't try to intellectualize or control the unfolding. Just allow it, surrender to it, trust it with your whole heart. And then, I want you to say these words out loud, truly feeling them resonate in your heart, speaking them not just with your voice, but with your entire being, with every cell that is being recalibrated. I release all fear, I release all doubt, I step into my divine purpose, and I trust that my miracle is already on its way. Udari, there is immense transformative power in declaration, in speaking your faith into existence, in proclaiming what is true in the unseen realm, even before it manifests in your physical reality. For words are seeds of creation. If you feel led, share in the comments below how God is recalibrating you. What part of this message resonated most deeply with your spirit today? What are you feeling called to release or embrace as you step further into your divine journey? And watch what happens when you voice your breakthrough, when you declare it with courage and conviction, even before it fully arrives. Let's create a vibrant community of encouragement, a sacred space where we can witness and celebrate these divine transformations together, affirming each other in this glorious journey.